I'm going to continue the evening with my second sequence of poems from my new collection, The Ghost of Franz Kafka. And it was only launched last month, so I will get bored with reading from this book eventually and read you some new ones. They're all new, they're all like babies at the moment, still mewling in their cots almost. So I'm going to start with a couple of short ones. I've been to the island of Lesbos in Greece many times, and it's the island many of you will know where poetry almost had its origins, because Sappho is said to have invented the lyric poem. And so this first poem is called Birthday in Mytilene. Mytilene is the capital of Lesbos, but it's also an alternative name for the island. On your birthday we drank tea in the harbour cafe, watched fishing boats glide to sea, the church's onion dome pinking in sunlight, a bird flying carelessly across the sky. Into our tea we dunked biscuits shaped like teaspoons. And this one is called The Falling. One winter we arrived in Lesbos in the middle of a storm, and rain was filling the gutters and the streets. And it's prefaced with a short line by Sappho from fragment 16, "And I long and yearn." The cleansing rain falls and falls and falls, a rush of joyous noise. The street is a river into which we step gingerly, clutching wine and candles and water. How I have longed for such simplicity, everything torn away, fallen, the apple uneaten. For the first time in many years, I've got a garden now. I live on the south coast, and so this is called Sawing Wood. I'm sawing wood and humming a poem, while snails gather expectantly, wondering if sawdust might be tasty as it looks. I'm in the garden sawing wood, under a clear sky, while the elderflower tree bends inquiringly toward the noise, and the neighbours' doors stay shut. Keeping the morning to myself, I saw away contentedly. Kerplunk goes another plank, and the secret slow worm wonders if it's safe to emerge. A poet sawing wood is not what he brought into when he chose this patch of earth. A poet sawing wood, humming a poem to himself, while all the gull-cawing world goes spinning round, and the chalky earth is firm for now, and the almost silence, almost sound. A Catholic school called Thomas More, and at the time I wasn't particularly interested in the sainted figure from whom our school was named, but more recently I learned that when he was in the Tower of London awaiting execution, and all his papers and materials were taken away from him, he passed his time by writing poems with pieces of coal on the cell wall. So this is More and Sorrow. Denied paper, the prisoner adapted to straitened circumstances, writing with coal, marking his final days on a prison wall. Resolute as befits a coming saint, dipping into principles set out by faith. In faith I bless you 1,000 times, he wrote, for lending me now some leisure to make rhymes. I first rhymed at a school named Thomas More. We had pens and paper, desks to hide behind. We sinners gave little thought to saints, martyred or otherwise, but too busy anticipating the next surprise, shuffled from a teenage deck of cards to spare a prayer for tortured bards. Now, to picture a prisoner versifying with coal seems profound, to hear the scratch of carbon on brick before committing to unyielding ground. More wrote less after losing his head, as poets do when newly dead, till comes the resurrection of their reputation, schools named in honour, now theirs completion. A less sainted figure, perhaps, is the young woman in this portrait. This is a painting, if you can see it, from the 19th century artist called Constantin Meunier, and it shows a young woman working as a mine worker in Belgium at that time. So the poem is called My Worker. Her beauty shines among the smoked-out terraces, clear eyes, scraped hair, scarf tied above her ears, a kiss curl softening brow, eyebrows arched with dust. She works in darkness but lives in light, a profile suggesting the woman that might be. No privilege, just the hope of not going hungry, of not being under a collapsing roof, a falling beam. The artist grants her the dignity and strength of one who sees some higher purpose for her class. When labour will have value, fly its flag from a steadier mast. Till then this girl stays rooted to her landscape, shouting across valleys to the seats of power, fiery reds and muddy blues denoting something yielding, not locked in time. I may have mentioned the collection is called The Ghost of Franz Kafka, and this is the title poem. I wrote this when I was on honeymoon 4 years ago in Prague, and we went to Prague in midsummer, and the weather was more like midwinter. So there's a very ghostly, wintry atmosphere around the city, and especially in Golden Lane, where Franz Kafka had lived. So this is the ghost of Franz Kafka. The ghost of Kafka enters the room where the poet and his wife are sleeping. He casts a spell and they're forever changed, married in their dreams on the river Vltava. The boat stops under the Charles Bridge. A flame-haired woman recites vows. She calls on the gods to bless this union, casts white lilies on the water. Kafka peers at things in the bathroom. He fingers clothes in the closet, envies the ethnic green shirt, muses how the purple Chinese dress would look good on any woman. He plays with the radio dial. The sleepers hear Mozart in their dreams. Over the many-crowned Radkani, clouds dispense a chilly bohemian rain. The writer sneaks down Golden Lane, plants spells on doors, plots a formula for turning metal into gold. The sleeping couple stir. Kafka gazes out the window, anticipating tonight's fireworks, shower bursting over the forest. The writer examines his reflection, lean, angular, monochrome, the sleeping couple in the lower half of the frame. A cock crows, a pale sun rises in the east. Kafka pads to the door, joins the maids and early risers in the corridor. Across the city, hangovers alert their owners to the painful cost of letting go. Kafka slips away, nothing here to see or know. Writing in the Financial Times, Lisa Pollock said, "On their deathbed, no one says they wish they'd gone to more meetings." So this is regrets. On his deathbed, he wished he'd gone to more meetings, had more delayed train journeys, waited longer in supermarket queues, encountered more options when phoning the gas board, contributed more to work collections, stayed longer at birthday and Christmas dues, been more fulsome in praise of idiot managers, worked on long after retirement age, forfeiting a globe-trotting pension gap year, an affair with a woman half his age. How much better if there were more dental appointments, more bouts of flu, more spam mail, more sweaty tube journeys, more early morning alarms, hurry, get dressed, there's no time to blink moments. How much better if he wasn't on his deathbed, heading for God knows where, and he woke in time to hear someone say, "That covers everything. Do you have any questions?" This is my last poem, and it's called When You Hang a Poet, and I wrote this after hearing the mother of the South African poet Benjamin Loisy on the radio one morning in October 1985. Benjamin Loisy had just been hanged by the apartheid government for being saying the right thing at the wrong time. So this is called When You Hang a Poet. When you hang a poet, you have not shut his mouth. When you strip his dancing body from the gallows, you have not shut his mouth. When your thieves of the light set his laughing corpse on fire, you have not shut his mouth. When weighted with your guilt, you sink his singing ashes to the ocean floor, you have not shut his mouth. You have opened a door, you have awoken every poet, who will in turn awake 1,000 more. Shelley's unacknowledged legislators of the world, for Africa's sake, demand that this be heard. When you hang a poet, you have not shut his mouth. Listen, he is speaking to you now. You have opened a door through which one day freedom will walk. Ooh. I'll leave you with this tiny coda, a novelist. I said, "What do you do?" He said, "I'm a novelist." I said, "You must be imagining things."